Chapter 7. Pip's visit to Estella back home. I decided to return to my hometown the next day. Wanting to make up for the way I had treated Joe, I told myself I ought to stay with him. But before long I began making excuses. Maybe I'd be an inconvenience, or perhaps my room wouldn't be ready, or I'd be too far from Miss Havisham's. Maybe she wouldn't like it. All this reasoning led me to stay at the Blue Boar instead. I took the coach. As the coach rattled on toward home, my thoughts turned to Miss Havisham. She had adopted Estella and, in a way, had adopted me too. Surely it must be her plan to unite us. It must be her wish that I would restore her ruined house, let light into its dark rooms, set the clocks ticking again, and rid it of cobwebs and decay. I pictured myself as a heroic young knight, marrying the beautiful princess and bringing happiness to the enchanted ruins. When I arrived at the gate, my heart was pounding, and then I jumped back in surprise. Oleg was there, now working as the gatekeeper at Miss Havisham's. He rang the bell, and Miss Sarah Pocket came to fetch me, leading me up to the same dusty room. "Pip," Miss Havisham called from within. "Come in." She was in her chair near the old table, the same faded wedding dress, her hands crossed on her cane, and her chin resting on them, just as I had always remembered. But beside her now sat a lady I didn't recognize, elegant, poised, and striking. "Come in, Pep," said Miss Havisham. "How do you do? So you kiss my hand as if I were queen, eh? Well?" Then the lady turned her gaze on me, and her eyes gave her away. They were unmistakably Estella's. She had changed so much. She was no longer the girl I remembered, but a graceful, beautiful woman. As I looked at her, I felt again like the rough, common boy I once was. The old sense of distance between us returned sharply. Estella offered me her hand, and I stammered a few words about how glad I was to see her. How long I had been looking forward to it. "Do you find her much changed, Pip?" Miss Havisham asked. "When I entered," I said, "I thought there was nothing left of the Estella I knew, but now, little by little, I can see." "What?" Miss Havisham interrupted. "You're not going to say the old Estella, are you? She was proud and insulting, and you wanted nothing to do with her, don't you remember?" I said that was a long time ago, and Estella smiled. "Is she changed?" Miss Havisham asked her. "Very much," said Estella, looking at me. "Less coarse and common," said Miss Havisham. Stella laughed as if she still treated me as a boy but lured me on. Miss Havisham sent us out for a walk. As we neared the place where I had fought the pale young gentleman years ago, Estella remarked, "I must have been a strange creature to hide and watch that fight, but I enjoyed it. You rewarded me very well. He and I are great friends now." "Since your change in fortune, you have changed your companions," said Estella. "Naturally," I replied. "And necessarily," she added coldly. "What was once suitable company for you would be completely unfit now." If I had any lingering thoughts of visiting Joe, those words chased them away. She walked with an air of superiority. When we passed the spot where she had once given me food and drink, I reminded her of it. "I don't remember," she said, and it made me cry inwardly. The worst kind of crying, I thought, is the kind that happens silently within. "You must understand," Estella said. "I have no heart, not in the way you think. Of course, I have one that can be stabbed or shot, and yes, if it stopped beating I would die, but I have no tenderness, no sympathy, no sentiment, none of those things. That's all nonsense." There was something in her tone, or in her expression, that reminded me of Miss Havisham, but I couldn't place it. A shadow of a thought passed through my mind, and then it vanished. "I'm serious," she went on. "If we're going to be around each other, you'd best believe it from the start. No, I've never given my love to anyone. I have never had love to give. As my eyes followed her white hand, again a dim suggestion that I could not grasp crossed me. She laid her hand upon my arm, as I seemed upset, and instantly the ghost was gone. She walked beside me gracefully, one hand holding up her beautiful dress, the other lightly upon my shoulder. The ruined garden was in bloom for me. It became one of my most treasured memories. Time soon melted to dinner time, and Estella left to dress for it. "She beautiful? Do you admire her?" asked my patroness. I told her that anyone who saw Estella would surely admire her. She pulled me close, wrapping an arm around my neck and lowering my head toward her. "Love her," she whispered fiercely. "Love her. I adopted her to be loved. I raised her to be loved. I taught her to be loved. I shaped her into what she is. Love her." Her voice took on the tone of a curse. "I'll tell you what real love is," she went on. "It's blind devotion, unquestioning self-sacrifice, complete submission, trust and belief against reason, against the world, against your own judgment. Give your heart and soul as I did," and she nearly fainted. To my surprise, Mr. Jaggers joined us for dinner. He had been invited and soon arrived. I explained to him that I had come to Miss Havisham's request. "Ah," said Mr. Jaggers, "a fine young lady. Pray, sir, Estella's name, is it Havisham?" I asked. "It is Havisham," he replied, and sat down for dinner. After dinner we played cards until 9. Then I said goodbye and left. Miss Havisham's passionate words haunted me far into the night, and I changed it to "I love her, I love her, I love her." I was thankful, truly thankful, that she was meant for me. These were high emotions, but I never once thought there was anything low in keeping away from Joe, as she would be contemptuous of him. The next day I returned with Mr. Jaggers on the midday coach back to London, the city of my great expectations. It had been strange but pleasant to be in the quiet old town again. I arrived in London safe but not sound, for my heart was still back in that ruined garden. To make up for not visiting Joe, I sent him a gift, a codfish and a barrel of oysters, and then went back to Barnard's Inn, where Herbert welcomed me with a dinner of cold meat. I couldn't keep my feelings to myself. That very evening I felt I had to tell someone. After we finished eating, I turned to my friend. "My dear Herbert, I have something special to tell you. It concerns myself and one other person." "Pip," he said, "you love Estella." I was stunned. "How do you know?" "Why, from you. I never told you." "Told me? You have never told me when you have got your hair cut, but I have the sense to see it. You have always adored her, ever since I have known you. When you told me your own story, you told me plainly that you began adoring her when you were very young indeed." "I have never stopped adoring her," I said, "and now she's come back more beautiful and elegant than ever. I saw her yesterday, and now I doubly adore her." "Well," said Herbert, "I'll share my secret too. Her name is Clara, and she lives in London. Her father is an invalid, and needs her constant attention, so we will wait. In the meantime, I must make my fortune." As we talked, putting my hand in my pocket, I found a pair of theatre tickets which I had received from Joe. The play was tonight. This changed the subject, and we resolved to go to the theatre that night.